we're with Enni Donnellan, who's one of the well-known and respected leaders in the field of autism and significant disability. To begin with, I know you have a very strong perception that autism is a movement disorder. How is autism usually seen, and why is your perception of autism different?
Well, the first thing is autism is seen as a thing somebody has. So it's not a thing. We've never seen it. It's never been found. We spent billions on research on the brain and on genetics, and we're yet to see it. Because it isn't a thing. It's a disruption in a very, in very important processes in the human body. And in a movement disorder or movement differences, which is what Martha Leary and I prefer to call it, movement differences means that there could be a disruption in the way we regulate and organize our bodies, our senses, our way of being in the world. And that, to the outsider, if you're not aware that that's a possibility, makes people look non-compliant, things we made up to explain what doesn't explain anything. And so we started looking at movement differences, and have found for 20 years that it helps us to know people very differently, and is a lot better than trying to control people. For example, people with Parkinson's disorder have a movement disorder. Now, the fact that they had many years of typical development and experience allows the rest of us to often understand what's happening when things aren't going as smoothly as they'd hope. The very same things in a person with an intellectual disability label or an autism label is interpreted totally differently. So, for example, if I say to you, come on, we got to go now, and you don't move in a reasonable period of time, I might consider you non-compliant, one of our favorite words in the field. And the fact is that you may be organizing your body and trying to move and not able to move. I don't know that, but that is very possible. If you have Parkinson's, we talk about that as akinesia, as a difficulty in movement. If you have an intellectual disability or autism, we say that you're being stubborn, or you're ignoring us, or all kinds of negative things. So how we deal with things depends on what lens we're looking at them. And in Parkinson's, we would try to give you the personalized support necessary to help you get off that chair. And those same supports often help people with autism. So if somebody sits next to you when you're in the chair and you're having difficulty, for some people, just modeling it, standing up, is enough to allow that person's body to move. But trying to drag them out of that chair or blame them for their behavior gets us into the mess that we have now in far too many situations. So it's certainly just saying that somebody not doing something or doing something may not be volitional. They may not want to do that, or not want to do that in that way. Makes a tremendous difference, I think, in our attitude and our feelings about what's going on. It's awfully hard for staff. For example, this is an almost universal problem. Staff report that they are taking the clients in the big bus to the zoo, and George loves the zoo and has been excited about it all week. They get to the zoo in in a van or a bus, and George can't get up. Well, if you interpret that as he doesn't want to get up, you're going to be pretty annoyed. And you're going to say, okay, well, if you don't get out, we're going back, and blah, blah, blah. That happens every day in North America. But if you say, he's so excited about going to the zoo, it's making his movement difference harder. and give him the support that he needs, then everybody gets to get off the bus and go to the zoo. It's an entirely different view of the world, because this is not a model that's trying to get rid of behavior. It's trying to help people get around a behavior when there's a problem.